guys. Do you know how critically important the lymphatic system is to your entire body? Well, let's dive in and let's talk about some ways that you can get your lymphatic system going. Hi, if you're new, my name is Charlotte James. I am a certified holistic health coach, and I'm here to help you on your healthcare journey because we're all about health naturally, holistically, without a bunch of chemicals and prescriptions and all of that. If that's what you have to do for now, that's fine. But we always want to gravitate towards being any type of pill free. And so today I want to talk to you guys about your lymphatic system and how critically important. Do you know your lymphatic system actually runs from your brain all the way down to the tips of your toes? It's a continuous like superhighway, if you want to think of it in that terms. Just imagine whatever is the most extensive looking highway that you can think of. Just imagine that, and there's traffic on it continuously. It just doesn't stop. And the purpose of our lymphatic system is to actually pull and drain our body of the inundation of talk of actual toxins that are in our bodies, and it has the ability to not only pull them out but to give you a clean, sort of like a clean way, but it never stops working. I think that's the point that I want to emphasize, is that your lymphatic system never stops working, and that's a good thing. However, there are ways that your lymphatic system can become blocked. So I want to talk to you today about how to keep your lymphatic system at optimum production, because if you know my story, for those of you that don't know my story, I had a cancer diagnosis in 2012, which, thank the Lord, I actually came through. And one of the things that happened is that I actually had uh, 10 lymph nodes removed from my right armpit. And so without the lymphs, which are all over their position, and there's certain, flows where it flows to, it's really challenging to maintain, free flowing of your lymphatic system. However, you can do it because I've done it. And yes, I've had some challenges with it because of not having the lymph nodes. However, I know what I need to do in order to get my lymphatic system continually moving rapidly. And so our scripture today comes out of John 7 and 38, where it actually talks about out of your belly will flow living waters. And I attribute it to the lymphatic system in a unique way, in that if we have rivers, if you want to think of it in that way, streams, if you want to think of it that way, of our lymphatic system flowing throughout our entire body, it has to continually flow at effortlessly. And so let's talk a little bit about how the blockages happen. The blockages can happen from inactivity. If we're not moving our bodies, if you don't know, our bodies were meant to move. Our bodies were not meant to be sedentary. And I think we're living in a culture now where, unfortunately, a lot of the children are sedentary. In my generation, we were outside making up games, doing all kinds of things outside, getting some vitamin D, getting some relatively fresh air, because you need to pull away from, the toxins in your home are more dangerous than the toxins outside. And so it's important that we move our bodies. And if you're joining me, yes, come on in and tell me where you're joining from. I thank God for you guys, actually tuning in. Tell me where you're joining from. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments. But yeah, so that's one way that you have got to keep your body moving. I don't care how little, I don't care where you start. If you haven't started, if you haven't been exercising, do what you can do, but do something every day. If you got to start with 5 minutes, then 10 minutes, then 15 minutes, then 20 minutes, do something, whether you're walking, whether you're swimming, riding a bike, if you're jogging on a treadmill, whatever it is that you enjoy doing, because that's another thing. If you don't enjoy it, you will not continue to do it. Find there's so many YouTube channels. I actually follow one. I've been following her for years, Lucy Wyndham Reed. I'll drop a link to her in the comments, in the description. And she She has all kinds of workouts that you can do for from as little as 5 minutes to as long as 30 minutes if you want, but keep your body moving. So that's the first thing. The second thing is to just begin to realize that what you're putting in your body, whatever toxins are on top of that, whatever toxins are attributed to that, they are going into your system as well. And so that's why it's so important that we make sure our lymphatic system is not clogged. Because what can happen is, as I said earlier, is blockages. And so let's talk a little bit about how blockages happen. Blockages come from inactivity, no movement in your lymphatic system, or not enough movement. You may not be moving enough. You may be moving, but you may not be moving enough to keep your lymphatic system going and going strong. And that's important because just remember, I always talk about on this channel, what you put in your body will soon be a reflection of how your body responds. And of course, there are some times where things can happen. We ingest something, or our bodies are going through changes, which at this stage in my life, yes, my body's definitely changing. But it doesn't mean that we have to adopt this narrative that when you get to a certain age, that your body's just going to start slowing down, your body's just going to start getting weak. I've even had to ramp up my muscle, improving my muscles, because the muscles are what actually help us maintain stability, particularly in our legs and our glutes. I'm finding out more and more. I think I did a video about how important your glute muscle is for your stability, to be able to walk, to be able to move freely without the help of any assistance, and to be able to keep you moving. So whatever you enjoy doing, make sure that you're doing something that you like. I like coming to the park. You guys know that's why I'm always trying to get something out here, because I want to get some vitamin D that is not a regular supplement, which I do supplement as well, because you just can't get enough vitamin D. But I like to get out in nature. I like to get out. I like to do a little walking, but I also do strength training. And I'm finding more and more that for me at my stage, I have to do more strength training than I do, cardio. And so I'm focusing on that. Make sure that you're moving, because blockages can happen anywhere. And I'll tell you some common areas where they can happen. Behind the knees, you can develop, if you develop like a little knot behind the knees. In the groin area is where your lymphatic system flows as well. And so be careful that anything connected to the groin, so the inside of the thigh, and also, your neck actually houses, because this is where your lymphatic system comes down from the brain and begins to flow through your body. And so you can get blockages from in any place in your body, and you'll know because you'll start to feel little baby lumps. And if it's not, you can get it tested if you like. But if you haven't been moving and you've been sedentary too much, then it's probably an indication that your lymphatic system is not moving. And so I want to give you guys some tips on how to get your lymphatic system moving, and not just moving, but moving optimally all the time. We already talked about the first one, and it is get your body moving. I don't care what you need to do, how long you can do it, build it up if you need to, but get your body moving. I don't care if you take 10 steps, if that's as much as you can do 10 steps, take a break. Do 10 more steps, take a break. Do 10 more steps and take a break. Baby steps are better than no steps at all. I'm always a proponent of that, and to do it every day. Now you can take the weekend off. What I do is try and, except for Saturdays, because I like to come out, in the park. And so do it 5 days a week. Whatever you're doing, make sure you do it 5 days a week. But on the weekends, if you want to just do something lighter, that's fine. And just take one day off if you need to, because your body does need a chance to relax and to not be, in that state where the muscles and the ligaments are just overworked. You don't want to overwork your muscles. Okay, so moving your body. The next thing I want you to try is called dry brushing. Dry brushing is just an amazing way. I encourage you to do it before you get in the shower. I do it practically every single night before I jump in the shower. I have a brush. It's a round brush. It has a handle on it, and you want to make sure that you're brushing from the bottom of your body, so from where like your ankles are up, every stroke should be towards the heart. Okay, so make sure you're doing it towards the heart. So you can start at your ankle, come up, your legs on all sides, and you don't need to really press that hard because your lymphatic system sits directly underneath of your skin. It's almost like it's similar to the fascia, but it's not the fascia. It's actually, and we're going to talk about that because I learned some interesting things about the fascia recently. But you want to always brush towards the heart. So for your arms, you want to brush down towards the heart. Make sure you get good underneath of your underarms and also around your neck area. Make sure you're brushing this way towards your heart. And so that's another way. The final way I want to talk to you about, which is actually super fun, is to do rebounding. Some people call it rebounding, mini trampoline, whatever your preference is, that's for you. But doing some jumping on a mini trampoline, it's so much fun. I don't care what age you are, you will get a kick out of jumping because the up and down motion, when you're jumping up and down, that motion actually stimulates your lymphatic system more than any other exercise. I'm going to say it again. Jumping up and down actually increases the flow and reduces or minimizes any blockages by simply jumping up and down repeatedly. And so being on a rebounder or mini trampoline is amazing for your lymphatic system. And so I encourage you to try it. Try the dry brushing every night. Just make it a habit. Because when you start doing something, if you do it for more than 10 to 14 days, you'll develop a habit. So I do it every single night, practically. I might miss a night or two, but I do it all the time. And so it's important for you to try these three things. Get moving, do dry brushing, and try the mini trampoline. I'm telling you, you will love it. I don't care what age you are, you will find it fun. Be careful if you have, one outside where it doesn't have netting. Be careful, please. And even on a smaller one, be careful. And if you don't have a mini trampoline, there's the exercise that you can do where you're literally, if you have to hold on, you can, but balance yourself on the ball, that little ball right underneath of your toes of your feet, and just bounce, keeping your heels off the floor and just bounce. That's also extremely beneficial for your lymphatic system. So guys, remember our scripture today, John 7 and 38, where the Lord tells us that out of our belly will flow rivers of living water. And that water I'm attributing to is our lymphatic system, the importance of the lymphatic system, the ability to keep it unblocked, and to make sure that we are doing our due diligence to make sure that superhighway of the lymphatic system is continually going all the time. So if you're new to the channel, you made it this far, thank you so much for joining us. Listen, like the broadcast, please subscribe to the broadcast, and please share it. If you know somebody that has lymphatic issues, share some of these tips with them so that they can start to acclimate. And listen, give me a thumbs up if you're going to try dry brushing, get moving, or the mini trampoline or rebounder. I would love to hear from you in the comments. And listen, as always, I want you guys to stay healthy. I want you guys to minimize your exposure to the tons of toxins, but make sure that you're doing what you need to do in order for your lymphatic system to be at optimum health. Listen, until next time, take care, and I'll talk to you later. Peace.